guys, and welcome back to Birmingham Fan TV. And I know it's been a little while since we have done a video. I do apologise for the lack of content. Mark has been moving house in the last couple of days, so there was no podcast last week. I do apologise about that. And I've just been taking a general break. I've been trying to look for a job since finishing university, so if anybody's out there that wants to give me a job, doubt anybody does, to be honest, but you can find me on Twitter somewhere. But yeah, I think that since obviously the last podcast almost 2 weeks ago now, when we filmed that last, I think there's been a lot that's actually happened with Blues, and there's been a lot to talk about. So I was going to sit down and do a little video. There will be a podcast, I'm pretty sure, this week. I will try and make sure it happens. We've got to make sure that Mark can get here first. But I think that Blues have, obviously they've been a little bit quiet, and then all of a sudden the back end of last week and moving into this week, things have started to take off a little bit. Things have started to get a little bit busier, as they do heading into June, because obviously June is the pivotal month where things start changing within the club, things start happening, transfers start happening, kit, stadium, all of this sort of thing. So let's get into a little bit. Obviously, the first thing to speak about, I think, is the kit. The kit is revealed, or leaked. It's supposed to be out today. I'm filming this on Monday, and I don't know what to make of it. I'll leave a little, I'll show you a little clip of it now. Obviously, if you haven't already seen it, you probably have seen it unless you've been living under a rock. It's okay. It's okay. Ultimately, I think that what Blues have lacked in this one, I think, is, from what I can tell from pictures, it doesn't look very royal blue. Obviously, you can see the royal blue in these two. This one looks a little bit more navy blue. I don't know why. Just maybe it's the photos giving off that vibe, and I don't know. But also the yellow stripe across the top. While I do think it's smart, and while I do think the shirt is okay, and I won't moan about it, it looks a little bit Cardiff. I don't know. I think I've seen a few people suggest this in the last couple of weeks. It looks very much like Cardiff's. So let me know your thoughts on that one, guys. I'm gonna take it as it comes, to be honest. I've heard rumours that the away kit's red, so depending on if they're going to make up for that one and make a really nice away shirt, remains to be seen as of yet. But I think that the home shirt, while smart, just looks a little bit off for Blues. It doesn't quite look Blues, so let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Moving on, the transfers. Things, obviously, players go away in end of May, June time, so nothing really happens, but things have started to trickle in. Rumours started surfacing. Obviously, we had those players leave on a free transfer. Go and head over to Twitter. We are doing a poll in the next few days of players that whether you think we should keep them or get rid of them. And obviously, these are not subject to free transfers, leaving out of contract, etc. But players that you think, who were in and around the first team last season, that you think should go. And then, obviously, on Friday, I believe it was, we got hit with the talk that Jota is due to go to Aston Villa for a medical. Now, this one comes as a little bit of a surprise to me. I had heard that Jota was on the list to be shifted, not due to his football ability or his performance last season, but just simply the crippling wages that he's been bringing to the table over the last 2 seasons. And while he has played well, I think, in my personal opinion, and would be sad to see Jota go, I'm not going to hide the fact that he's a fantastic player if used in the right system and used in the right way. But I think that he's got to go with the 45 grand now, I believe, that he's on. Next year rising to 50, it's within his contract clause. It's just too much for any championship team. That's 3 players for an average championship team. So Jota due for a medical at Aston Villa. Now that one is, I think, where the killer blow comes for Blues fans, that he's going to go and join Dean Smith at Villa. But I do understand at the same time where the deal's coming from. Blues want Gardner. While I'm not overly fussed about Gary Gardner coming back, I think that he did well for us last season, but tailed off towards the back end. The last 2 months kind of went missing a little bit, but I do welcome him back with open arms. I think that he'll be a great addition next season, and hopefully he can play the way he played in the first sort of 6 months of the season for us next season. But Jota going the other way, it's a shame, I think, because we never really saw the best out of Jota, I don't think. And like we discussed in previous podcasts, his abilities didn't suit maybe playing on the right-hand side maybe didn't suit Gary Monk's style of play. That's not Gary Monk's fault. He can't make players fit into the system. These players have to fit his system, so he needs to go out and find those players. But if it means potentially keeping Shea, then I'm all for it, to be honest. I am disappointed to see him go. If it does happen, obviously it's gone quiet in the last 2 days, but I do expect that one to go through, and obviously joining his former manager, Dean Smith at Brentford. And Gary Gardner coming back the other way, I think that the deal itself will work for us if the reported Gardner plus 4 million. If it is that, I am more than happy with the deal. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more for Jota in return, but with the wages he's on, team have got to subsidise those wages, so that team's got to take that on as well. We've got to take all of this into account. 4 million plus Gary Gardner returning won't be the worst deal in the world. Hopefully we can reinvest that 4 million. Obviously we're looking at, the board of banking on Butland going this summer from Stoke, and obviously we've got that, I think it's 25% resale value on him, so whatever he goes for, the reported 30 million price tag, we can take a quarter of that, or roughly a quarter. I might be off by 5 or 10%, I don't know. But they're banking on that. If they can get that and Jota in, and maybe shift 1 or 2 little bits of wages here and there, the potential to keep Shea grows and grows. And obviously if we can keep Shea and then reinvest a little bit of what we get back from other players into one or two bits of quality and a few loans and a few frees, then we could be in for a really good, enjoyable campaign with some really good players. I think Shea is going to be pivotal to anything we do. But obviously we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know if there's any bids for him. We don't know if the player wants to leave himself. But let me know your thoughts on the Jota deal down below in the comment section as well. I think that it's an interesting topic, and I think it's one that I didn't expect to be coming this early in the transfer market, maybe towards the back end, but certainly not currently. Finally, just to finish off this roundup video, I know that we've not given you a lot in the last couple of weeks, but I wanted to do the top 5 players that I believe Blues should go after who are currently out of contract or will be out of contract come the summer. If any of these are wrong, do let me know, but I'm pretty sure I've done my research right. Apologies about the phone going off. But some of these players are out of contract in the summer. I think that they're not just players that have good quality, but will fit style of play or the needs that Blues do have this season to fill some of the gaps that have been left by players leaving or have already left. So the first one is young Josh McEachran. When I say young, he's sort of 26 now, so he's entering the prime of his career. Obviously, he's due to be released by Brentford this summer, and it's kind of the place where he's revived his career. Obviously, he was one of the starlets at Chelsea, breaking into the team, came through their youth academy, and then was obviously very injury prone, hit by injuries, released by them, went to Middlesbrough on loan, I think, before that, and couldn't ever really get his career going, but then managed to go to Brentford, making 24 appearances last season and scoring 1 goal, I believe, was against us. But I think he's somebody that we could really do with. If we're going to bring in Gardner, we need another centre midfielder. It's pivotal that we get 2 midfielders in, with Clifton Bowed out till probably Christmas at least. David Davis, Craig Gardner may come, may go, we don't know yet. Another big earner that we might try and shift in the summer, and I would expect us to try and shift in the summer. Whether we can or not, it's a different story. But Josh McEachran, I think, is a really, really good player on the ball. If you can keep him fit, can be one of those players that can really take a hold of the game and control it. And I think it's somebody that really we've lacked for many years. Gardner doesn't really bring that to us. He brings something different, but not that style of play. So Josh McEachran being the first one. The second one is another Brentford player. I did express this on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. Is Johan Barbet, who is a centre-back. Can play left back as well, and I think that if we are to improve as a team, Brentford releasing Barbet doesn't mean he's a bad player. I think if we bring in someone like him, he would fit personally for me alongside Harley Dean at left centre back or as a left back. I think we don't have enough cover on that left hand side behind Pedersen. He just is the only really recognised first team left back we've got. Steve Seddon coming back from his loan, he's done really well, so he may feature, but it'd be good to have those options at left back or centre back. The third player being Joe Newell, who is a Blues fan and Blues Academy graduate as well. I think it'd be good to get someone like that in again, another Blues homegrown talent Obviously went away, played for Peterborough, and has currently found himself at Rotherham for the last couple of seasons, where he's done really well. 31 appearances, 4 assists last season. At the age of 26, again, still probably hasn't hit the peak yet of his career. Quite a versatile attacking midfielder, but tends to play out on that left-hand side. And I think it's somebody that we could really do with, somebody with a natural left foot. I think that if you look at the way we set up, we've usually used Magoma out on that left-hand side, but he's naturally right-footed. So somebody that can go to the byline on his left foot and cross the ball is somebody that we've lacked for a few years now. Magoma, who is very, very, very effective in that position. But sometimes if we need to switch the game up a little bit, play Magoma maybe out on the right-hand side and play Joe Newell on the left-hand side would be really good. I think he's somebody that also offers a good set piece as well. So let me know your thoughts on these three down below. The fourth one, being a goalkeeper, I think the Blues are desperate for a goalkeeper this summer, regardless of what happens to camp, whether he stays or goes. I don't think he's going to go, but whether he'd be first team or second choice backup remains to be seen. But we need another recognised first team goalkeeper. I know that there's rumours of us being linked with Biakowski again for $1.5 million. Don't know how true those rumours are. I know that there's whispers that he does admire him as a goalkeeper and would like to bring him in if he has the opportunity to. Whether the money's there to spend or not entirely sure. I think they're kind of holding out to see how close they are to financial fair play with that one. So you won't see any spending yet, I don't think, for a couple more weeks. But Biakowski, I don't think would be a bad option. I would certainly not shun that deal if it did happen to progress a little bit further. But somebody that I think we could look at while his age does kind of put you off a little bit. Kieran Westwood is to be released by Sheffield Wednesday. Only making 20 appearances last season due to injury, but 11 clean sheets in 20 appearances is a fantastic record. And I think at 34, he is in the prime currently of his career. Somebody that brings bags of championship experience. And if we can just, I don't know, wages could be an issue this season, and it's something that we really need to keep a hold of, as we've not done in previous seasons. Obviously, with us trying to offload Jota and those sorts of players, it's trying to bring down the wage, but we'll replace them with other players on lesser wages. And I don't know what he was on at Wednesday. It wouldn't have been cheap, but if we can bring in somebody like that as well and have two decent goalkeepers with championship experience in the ranks, I think it could prove to be vital for us next season going forward. And the final player, and this player is probably the best on this list, or I would say, for me personally, is the player I'd like to see us go after most, and it's Lee Gregory from Millwall. Now, regardless of whether Shea goes or not, we need another striker. If Shea was to go, we needed two. And Lee Gregory is somebody that fits into that physical style of play. He fits into that mould of can play off the big striker or can play as the target man, but tends to play off the big striker like he's done with Steve Morrison at Millwall. If he was to play off Jukovic or play with Adams, I think he, again, with 12 goals, and I think it was 12 goals, 10 assists this season for Millwall, he's certainly somebody that brings bags of goals into this team. And if we were to keep Shea and add another 12 goals to our ranks, who knows where we could finish this season. But let me know, guys, your thoughts on all of those in the comments down below. I know it's been a little bit of time since the videos have been out. I do apologise for that one, but the podcast will be back this week. We will be bringing you more roundups and transfer news and any breaking news as and when it happens. Now we are starting to get sorted again, so apologies for that one. Apologies about the noise as well. They seem to be doing all building work outside my house for the last couple of weeks, so it's been a little bit frustrating, guys, but thank you so much for watching. If you could leave a like down below in the comments section, and obviously don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any content this season from Birmingham Fan TV. But that's been all for me, guys, and I'll catch you later in the week for the podcast. Keep right on.